Hi, my name is Steve. Welcome to another Mind Bomb training video. Today I wanted to talk to you about the quality management system and what it can do for your small business. First off, you'll notice that I'm back in the Hawaiian shirt again. Ridiculous shirt for the end of October in England, but hopefully we won't need it so much this time. I think it's nice and bright to keep you focused, and quality management system, or QMS, can be a fairly dull topic, but I'd like to think that this time trying to apply that to the smaller business rather than just a background of the quality management system should actually be easier to follow. And I tell you what, the thing that is going to get everyone's interest is how that actually makes you money, because that's the aim of it at the end of the day. You're going to improve the business, and the idea is to actually be able to make more money as a result. So last time I gave a brief overview of the quality management system, and particularly relating to ISO 9001. If you haven't seen the video, then James, if you can put the thumbnail on here, and then anyone that wants to can click on the link below. You should actually be able to run through it fairly quickly. I'm only joking about it being particularly dull. But it is worth a watch. If you want to watch the basics first, that'd be the right way around to do it, and then you can watch this one afterwards. So what can a quality management system do for any small business? Maybe you don't have the resources to be able to go and get the accreditation to become approved in the first place, but if you've got 10 or 20 people, you still need to be able to understand how the systems work within the business, and also how you can improve them, most importantly. So any good quality management system will help you to reduce errors within the business. That's one of the keys. It squeezes out the problems for any business, and obviously that way you reduce waste and cost, and improve customer satisfaction. So the idea is happier customers, you're going to get more of them, and they're going to buy more of whatever it is that you're actually selling. So it should actually improve the customer satisfaction, and that's the end point, is to achieve a better financial result, make more money, and obviously happier customers. So I mentioned last time about ISO 9001 really helping you with the pain points with the business. And this is what I would suggest. If you're a smaller business, you don't want to become accredited, then just look at the pain points where you're actually getting problems within the company at the moment, and how the systemized process could actually help you resolve those and squeeze those out of the organization. So just as an example, I mentioned last time, if you're a wholesale business, and for instance, if you're having problems with errors on orders, things being delivered to the wrong customers at the wrong time, etc., what you would want to do to introduce a standardized process is to basically bring all of the warehouse team together and work it through as a training exercise to create a flow chart of how exactly every order should be processed. So coming from the printout of the picking note of the order to start with, then going through the stage of actually pulling out the individual products that the customers ordered, and then moving on to how that is then invoiced, how it is arranged on the presumably a separate dispatch system, so a courier system perhaps, and it's actually linking all of those things together in a clear and transparent flowchart that would then show any newcomer into the business exactly what you're supposed to do to process an order and get it delivered to the customer. So the idea is really to take the best practice, what your most experienced people are doing, the best of all of the process, and make that standard. So instead of maybe having newcomers to the business that haven't been fully trained or properly coached through the warehouse, then what you would want to do is to as I say, sit them all down together and make sure that those newcomers are working to the same standard as everybody else. And that is a training issue for the business. What it might also involve when you do bring everyone together is hopefully someone would come up with different suggestions about how they could improve things. One example I remember very well is the quality check label that we used to put on orders. So if you've got a newcomer maybe for a few months, you might want to actually make sure that all of their orders are checked and signed off by the warehouse manager or warehouse supervisor before the shipment is actually sent out. That way you can catch a lot of the issues before it even hits the customer. And all it was a simple label to say that there'd been a double check, someone else had put eyes over the order, make sure that all the right items had been picked, and then it was signed off and dated, and it was amazing how many of the errors that actually squeezed out. It caught out quite a number before the goods actually hit the customer, and then obviously it starts with the calls into the sales team saying there's a problem with it. And normally you'd end up having to send out extra deliveries to make up the items that were missing or get stuff returned from customers, all of those things. That really the errors just compound themselves, and obviously it goes to a lot of waste. It costs a lot of money to do it that way. So yeah, very simple additions to the system like that. By creating a written standardized procedure, you can then have something for anyone in the business to refer back to. Maybe put a copy of it on the warehouse notice board, or just keep it in a separate file so that people can refer back to it as and when needed. Maybe when you get a new member of staff, they can actually be taught the correct way of doing things, and make sure that the training that they're given at the outset is the right way of doing it. So you've got a written procedure, and that is the basis then for anything else that follows within the business. The other problem area that you might have typically is where you've got to create a new procedure and introduce a new procedure with the staff as well. So another good example of a pain point within the business is where something has to be created from scratch. So an example I came up with for this is a very current issue where if you have a number of technicians working in a commercial garage, for instance, you've obviously got to introduce new cleaning routines for all of those technicians. And whilst there's a good likelihood of the majority of them being able to remember to clean steering wheel, gear lever, handbrake, etc., then how many would actually be able to remember to clean the door handles inside and out, make sure to clean the mirrors, basically all the touch points, the touch points that the drivers would normally use on the cars. So again, if you create a written checklist of that new cleaning process that you want to introduce, you can basically make sure that every technician is cleaning every item that you would want them to as the best practice for the business. And also, again, as a plus, an added benefit for that, a bit of a bonus for that, you can then leave the copy of that checklist for the customer to actually see that everything has been done as they would like to see it. So you tell the customers obviously that there's additional cleaning going on, but the fact that you leave a signed copy of the checklist in the car reassures them that it's been done properly, and adds to the customer service. So new systems introduction. Again, it's another written procedure, and bit by bit, as you look across the business, you can see how the written procedures can build up, and over a period of time, if you do want to go for the full whole 9 yards, as it were, for the quality management system, you can either build your own and just keep it in-house, or you can use it as the basis then for developing and moving on to the ISO 9001 accreditation if you want to go the whole way. So to remember the key points for any of the quality management systems, and particularly with ISO 9001, you've got the issue on customer focus. It's got to be, whatever you're doing has got to be focused on a better outcome for the customer. It's a standardization of best practice. So it may be some of the things that you're doing already are some of the staff are doing exactly what you would like to see them do, but it's a way of standardising that best practice for the customer. It should also involve engagement with staff. We've talked about how people can become more engaged in what they're doing if they're actually drawn in and involved in the development of these processes. So it's about engagement. That also feeds in then to staff training. So you want to make sure that the training is adequate across the business for whatever those positions are, and that helps to improve the outcome for the customer on its own, of course. And the other thing is about continual improvement. So any quality management system should be working for you to help you continually improve what you do. So the systems will be developed. Hopefully the staff will bring new ideas and help to improve the systems across the business. And you know, that is a perpetual feedback, basically, so that once the suggestions start coming in, the system gets improved and developed, then obviously the business should improve as the systems go alongside it. So the idea is that you can apply the principles of the quality management system without actually needing to go through the pain of the accreditation. But if you apply the written procedures, if you look in detail at each of the steps that your staff have to make, and continually look at that as to how you can improve and how it can then benefit the customer, then that will only add to the growth of the business. So there's a lot to be said for continuous improvement, and that is what the quality management system should actually be delivering for you. Hopefully it will hit the bottom line. It may take some time, but it depends on how many pain points you have with the business as it stands at the moment. But if you find yourself holding your head in your hands at some of the things that get done within the company at the moment, then a quality management system is the way forward. It will reduce your stress and standardise the best practice within the business. I hope you like what you've seen today, and you didn't need too much to rely on the ridiculous shirt to keep you awake. I think I'd like to think this one's an easier watch in terms of the video and what it can do directly for your business. So thank you for staying with me. And obviously, if you like what you've seen, then don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell, and then you get notifications of any future videos. I think that went okay. The shirt thing was a bit of a novelty for me, but I don't know what you think. Let me know in the comments. And I hate to think what I'm going to have to come up with for the cloud accounting topic. I hate to think when we get to the accounting, but never mind. Thank you.